Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and this is Elite Dangerous. So I'm on the quest to try something new, and in this case it's exploration. So here I am in this system, and as you can see I've uncovered a few planets and their moons, but I'm actually after making that a fully expanded system chart. And as you can see, there's going to be a lot to it. So my first plan is to sell the information I currently have, and for that I need to dock and get inside this station. You can see here I'm located about halfway down the beta capsule. The system is HIP 91906. Now I chose this system because it's particularly interesting to me.
Request granted.
Firstly because it has 3 suns, but not only that, but each sun has multiple bodies, in some case potentially 10 bodies, and each body actually has multiple moons. So it's a very interesting place to begin exploring with. As I showed you, I'd already have some data to sell, so we'll go down to Universal Cartographics in a moment and have a look at selling that. But first I want to have a quick look at outfitting. I'm currently in an Eagle. I did have some footage showing the purchase of the Eagle, but I managed to have a bit of a mishap and lost the whole thing. There was a few hours of recording I'd lost there. And I actually got into combat with the fabled Chris Roberts, and it would have been a particularly fun video because he nearly crashed into an asteroid. A favourite trick of his. Now the Eagle is outfitted pretty well. I've got a new power plant, I've got new thrusters, I've got an upgraded frameshift drive as well. I didn't bother with life support. I do have a new power distributor. Fuel tank standard. I think I've got upgraded shields, and I've got a shield cell bank fitted. Now shield cell banks are particularly good because, well, they get you out of sticky situations, and you'll probably see later me using them again and again. I think there's been a change made to the way shields operate in Beta 2. They actually seem paper thin and they wear down quite quick, even when you do have upgraded shields. So the shield cell bank is particularly helpful and is actually a lifesaver. As you can see there, it comes with 9 cells, so that's nice because it's quite a good amount of uses each time. So Universal Cartographics, let's see what I've got. I've scanned a few planets and a few moons, as you saw there. And okay, that data's actually for various systems. Alright, 422 credits for this particular system, so not a whole lot, but I'm not doing it for the money, I'm doing it for the sense of exploration. And you never know what else I might discover out there. I'm sure there's going to be a few resource extraction sites along with the usual unidentified signal sources, and who knows what else. Please excuse the rough cut I made there. That's actually due to the lost footage I mentioned previously. But here we are, and we're on our way, so everything's good. I've also actually slightly changed the FOV, you might have noticed. The default is around about 60, and I've just moved it closer to 70, which is actually quite a bit better on my ultra widescreen monitor. Now, exploration can be a little bit difficult, and that's usually related to the fact that because the location of the planets is unknown, well, it means the location is unknown and we don't know what direction to head in order to find them. There's a couple of ways of trying to work a way around that, and in the first case I tend to head to the furthest out planet I currently have discovered. In this case I've targeted planet C10 in my navigation panel, that's my destination. I've also managed to discover so far planet C7, but that means C8 and C9 are missing, so the idea is that if I head out here towards C10, I should hopefully find planet C8 and C9 on my way. Now I've upgraded my planetary D scanner. You start with the basic one. I've upgraded to an intermediate one. The basic one scans around about 500 light seconds radius, which really isn't that much in the grand scheme of things. The intermediate one scans 1000 light seconds, and I've noticed that to be a great advantage when determining unknown planets. So as we head out into Super Cruise, we can see the orbit line of planet C10 there. I'll just reorientate myself so that it's horizontal along the plane there. Now it's still a fair distance out. I will keep using my D scanner on the way out, because hopefully the two remaining planets should be somewhere between my current location and planet C10 out there. Now there's also another possibility, and that is that the other two planets are on the opposite side of this sun, which means that my D scanner is not going to locate them because their distance is going to be far greater than 1000 light seconds. But the choice at the moment is to head towards planet C10, and I'm going to keep scanning. Now if we get there and I haven't found the other two planets, what I will probably try and do is target the sun, which is the centre of this particular system of bodies, and I'll then orbit that sun, or not actually orbit it, but I will follow the orbit lines of the furthest out planet from that sun, and make a complete navigation of the circumference of that line. That may take a while, but what that allows me to do is set a scan of 1000 light seconds at intermediary steps along that route, which means that it's pretty much inevitable I should locate the planets. There is as well another method that can be used, and that's to scan the horizon with your eyes. And you do this by looking at all the stars, and as you're moving at super speed or super velocity, super light velocity, the stars that are nearer to you, or the planets that are nearer to you that aren't a part of the background, will actually move in parallax to the background. And as you can see, the stars that are fixed to the background here don't actually move, whereas the ones that are actually closer and in the system would move. But that requires looking at the correct particular part of the sky at all times, and hoping of having luck that the planet is in that particular area at any one time. So that can work if you happen to chance upon the right direction, but it won't work if you happen to be facing any other direction other than the correct one. So I've actually got out here to planet C10, and I haven't located anything. So really the next trick is to follow the orbit line here. I'd suspect that means that the planets I'm looking for are actually on the other side of the sun, but I will follow the orbit line around. Now you can see over there was an unknown star that's 286,000 light seconds away. That was star B within this system, or star A. There are actually three of them. Once we've completed the planets in this section, I will be making my way over to that star there and uncovering the planets around that particular body as well. So a complete navigation of the circumference of planet C10 actually showed up nothing, and that means I'm going to have to try another trick, and this involves targeting the central body of the system, in this case the sun, and using that as a reference point. You can see to the left of my radar there's the compass. I've got the planet in front, unknown, currently targeted, and that actually shows up in the compass as a little blue dot. And as I move away from that unknown planet, if either I move up or down, you would see the little blue dot move to the left or right edge of the compass. You can see it moving slightly now. Now when that dot reaches the far right, as it is there, it means that planet is actually to my right, and you can see the dots now become a hollow dot, and that means it was moving around to my back right and eventually behind me. Now I've targeted an unknown signal source here. You can see that's actually appeared in front of me. It's now above me on that compass, and it's now coming back around in front of me again. Now keep all that in mind, because that's actually very useful information, and we are going to use that to locate the missing stars in this system. But first I'm going to stop off in this unidentified signal source. That's if I don't keep overshooting it. But this does come back to the point of the compass there. You saw the little blue dot circle round up and over the round compass area, and now it's back in the centre again, meaning that it's actually, the target is actually in front of me. The nice thing about these signal sources is you never know what you're going to find. A few times I've come across war essence, an anaconda with elite ranking that fires missiles at you at pretty much his first opportunity. So what we got here, Paddy Main in a sidewinder, and is wanted. Now, I've always found Sidewinder NPCs seem to do quicker damage to me than Cobras do. He took down the first ring of my shield pretty quickly. I think he's going to come around for a second pass here. He's using beams. I've got a burst laser on the top of my ship and 2 multi-cannons underneath. The fact they're underneath actually means I need to point my ship slightly above my target. Otherwise the gimbals can't aim up. Now you can see the multi-cannons are shooting. If it gets slightly above my centre reticle, the guns won't hit him. So not much credit for him, but it was interesting distraction nonetheless. So let's get back out there.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
So I'm going to target the planet C3 here and head back in towards the centre of the system. I haven't located anything just yet, but my hope is that on the way towards a central star I will actually locate one of the 2 missing planets. That's the plan that I hope will give me the quickest results. But if that doesn't work, then I will have to target the central star and then work my way out. And I'll show you how you can use the compass I was speaking about previously to do that. Once I get up to some speed here, we should start moving more rapidly towards the centre of the system here. Now, you can see on the compass there that the planet I've targeted was actually below me, and it's now behind me. I'm just thinking, rather than heading in, I'm going to head out for a little bit. Although I'm not entirely convinced that I'm going to find anything in this direction. You guys might remember from the concept art recently released, or released actually early in the year from Frontier, showing the orrery maps. These were the maps that basically a 3D map. They showed the star in the centre of the screen and then the orbiting lines along with the planets, and there was a bunch of other information on those screenshots, including some text boxes for text communication, system information, planet orbit information, and all sorts of lovely other data. Now Michael Brooks, the executive producer, has recently confirmed that we're not going to be receiving the orrery view in the game, much to my disappointment. It is a shame, and I really feel those maps would have vastly added to the exploration here, because it would have saved a lot of the random searching we're doing at the moment. And although it's not completely random, once you get the hang of how a system can be laid out, a map like the Aura Review really would have helped a lot. The current 2D map gives you an indication of what planets are in the system and what order they're in, but it really doesn't give you as much information as I was like. Now, I've had to turn around. I've targeted the central star here in this particular part of the system. That's the star C, and I've orientated my ship so that star is above me. Now you can see on my compass the little blue dot is above the compass, and my aim is to keep that there at the top. So in order to do that, whilst keeping the star above me, as you can see there, I'm flying in a straight line away from it. That means the dot would slowly move around behind me, or the star will slowly move around behind me. So what I have to do is keep pulling my nose up. Just as it turns to a hollow dot there, I'll pull my nose up a little bit. And all the time, whilst doing that, I'll keep doing a scan. And there we go. I've discovered the planets, hopefully. Let's see what we've got. And yep, what we can do is see there is the 2 missing planets and their related moons. So planets 8 and 9, I've just discovered they're obviously unknown because I haven't flown up close to them and scanned them up close. I'll have to do that with the planets and with the moons, but before I do that I will settle the data, because there is a bug where the secondary scan data overwrites the first data scan. Now I'm going to find a station here and head back there and dock and sell this information I've got, and then head back out and do some closer scans to get the more detailed information. Now, just to reiterate on what I did there, I targeted the star, which is the central point of this particular system of bodies. That gave me a center point to orbit around. I then flew a distance away from that star, but still keeping it within range of my scanner. So in the case of the intermediate scanner I've got, that's 1000 light seconds. If I had the basic scanner, that would be 500 light seconds. Once I'd reached that range, I orientated my ship so that the star was above me, and I then faced my ship and pitched it up and down so that the blue dot on my compass was always at the top of the compass. I then accelerated away at full speed, and I then have to keep pulling my nose up, keep pitching up, in order to keep that dot at the same point at the top of the compass. Now what that means is I'm taking a circle around the star at my current distance, which in my case back there was 1000 light seconds, and in the case of you having only a basic scanner, you'll do this at 500 light seconds, and all the while just keep hitting that scanner button. Now you may have to make a full circumference orbit of the star before you actually find anything, but you should find something. If something's there to find, you will find it. If you don't, head out to the next set of 500 light seconds or 1000 light seconds, depending on which scanner you've got, and repeat the process, and eventually you'll discover all the planets in the particular system. Now, there is the cases where you have stars or planets within a particular system of bodies that don't orbit on the same plane as all the rest. Sometimes they're vertically above the star in relation to the other planets on the orbit lines. Now, in the event that does happen, the planets can still be easy to find, but you just need to go about it in a slightly different way. Now, I'm using the terms up, down, left and right figuratively, because obviously there is no up and down in space, but look at the orbit lines in front of me here. From this direction they do have left and right. I'm on the same plane as them. If I wanted to look for planets that are on the vertical line in relation to those particular lines we were looking at then, I would then fly directly up and then keep the blue dot again either at the bottom of the compass or at the top of the compass, and go round the sun in that direction, and that would allow me to find any planets that are potentially located above or below the solar plane. Now, I'm not expecting to get much in the way of money for this particular scan, and in fact system scanning does seem to be paying out rather low at the moment, but as was the case with all new features introduced in previous betas, they generally did pay out low. It's only really in beta 2 that bounties have started paying out very high. They were always just a couple hundred credits previously, but now they can be in the range of 10, 20, 40k or more credits, and I expect to see the same happen at a later date with exploration, once it's been more fleshed out and balanced and all the bugs fixed.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
But again, it's really not all about the money, it's about, well, I can be a bit of a completionist, to be honest, but these systems really are wonderful to explore. Yeah, as I said, around about 170 credits, so not a huge amount of money by any means. Right, well, I was going to head out again, but it's getting fairly late in the video now, so what I'll do, I'll take a break and I'll come back and finish off the exploration, or at least continue the exploration in a second part. I hope that's been of some help to you guys and girls. As always, thanks for watching. This has been Obsidian Ant, signing off.